It all comes down to this, folks. It's the final two games of the regular league season, and we kind of need to win them both to make sure we're in the playoffs. Hello and welcome to Club 2 Part 8 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Billericay and at home against Poole in our final two games of the regular league season. Since you were last with me, generally, it all went really well. Lots of wins, apart from this one thumping that we took at the hands of Hemel Hempstead. Problem is, if we do make it into the playoffs, there's a chance they'll be one of the teams we're playing, although we are actually above them at the moment, which is weird because they were the only team. I mean, we've beaten all these teams around us. It was just them. They were hard. Before we get into all that, we do just need to rename one of these other youth team players. And worry not, folks. I have taken your advisement on board from yesterday and reduced it to just the 1 star at the start of a name, so it's not quite so intrusive. A couple of people did suggest adding them to a shortlist. If anyone knows how to add players at my own club to a shortlist, let me know, but I don't think it's possible to do. But as with the guy who was renamed yesterday, this fella gets renamed after one of my patrons, who's in at $20 a month or more. Andrew Barter takes a young right winger, 16 years old, can play on either wing. And as with SC1D yesterday, we'll keep track of them throughout their career. And because the star's there, I should now be able to search them. Oh, hang about. When I did this the other day, it worked. No. We'll come up with a plan eventually. We'll figure something out. Let's not get bogged down in it now. This is the team that we're going to be playing today anyway. Neither of them are involved today, so you don't need to see the stars today. We've got Ashmore in goal, a back four of Osborne, Kilgore, Stone and Minahan, with Compton, Ovenden, Clutton and O'Tim in midfield, and then Robles and Mills up front. Danny Mills is still in excellent form. If we have a little look at his season so far, 29 goals. I think he was quite a good signing. Robles has gone off the boil a little bit. 27 in all competitions, but 10 of them have come in the Cups. And who cares about the Cups? He's only got 17 goals from 38 appearances in the league. That's less than a goal every 2 games. So, yeah, that's not the kind of form that's going to guarantee him a place in our team next year, especially if we get promoted. I mean, if we stay in this division, he'll probably stay hovering around as a squad player. A division higher, I think it has to be a case of we find a new partner for Danny Mills, and if anyone's silly enough to give us money for Robles, in fact, no, it's not really very silly. If he's the main man, if he's the poacher somewhere, then he'll score 30 goals. It's just he's not quite as good as Danny Mills. Plus, it'd be nice to get him off the books so people stop telling me that I'm pronouncing his name wrong. I don't care if it's supposed to be Robles. That doesn't make sense to me. As someone who speaks the English language, the way his name is spelt, it should not be pronounced Robles. It's Robles. Unless that fella who plays for West Ham is called Mark Knobler, which I don't think he is. So to me, he's Robles. Right, we've conceded a goal while I'm having that. Oh, I had to get that off my chest because we get that comment every day. Oh, Robles. He's going to be Robles. Oh, yeah, we're going to lose both of these games, aren't we? Billericay are top of the league, by the way. I probably should have mentioned that at some point in the build-up. We're talking about being able to beat all the other teams around us. Billericay are 21 points ahead of us in the league and trying to secure automatic promotion and the title. So there's every chance we're going to lose this one and put an awful lot of pressure onto ourselves going into that last day of the season, especially with our bogey team, Hemel Hempstead, breathing down our necks as well. So it's there's quite a lot riding on this. We have got a fully fit team for the first time in goodness knows how long. Fully fit, not necessarily fully in form. But, I thought Danny Mills was going to score a screamer of an equaliser there and make me take it all back and apologise and say, no, look, they are in form, they're great. I love Danny Mills. As it is, we're 2-0 down, sorry. I'm getting wishful. We're 2-0 down. We've not even had a shot on target yet. And Billericay have scored 2 goals. I think it's safe to say they're the best team in this division by quite a long way, and we just need to try and cling on to this final playoff spot and then get involved in this weird extended playoff system that I've heard all about but haven't experienced yet. So my understanding is if we were to finish 7th like we are now, we then, I guess we must play off against Wealdstone, who are in 4th. And then Whitehawk play Weston-super-Mare, and the winner of those ties go against Dartford and Bromley, who are 2nd and 3rd. Is that how it works? I mean, we're 3-0 down after 22 minutes. There's every chance we're not going to need to get ourselves bogged down in all that. But this whole 6-team playoff thing is a little bit of a weird system. I know when we talked about it last season, A couple of people said, no, it's just 4 teams. Well, yeah, it used to be just 4 teams, but look at the way it's shaded. It's definitely 6 teams now. So Billericay are up automatically, and then the following 6 are in the playoffs. So 7th place is a playoff spot, but I think it's quite a long-winded playoff if you're in it from 6th or 7th place. How are we not out of this playoff mix at this point? Hemel Hempstead must be losing as well. That's the only explanation for what's going on. Either that, they've not played, or are not playing. Let's have a look at the latest scores. Of course, we can't look at the latest scores from this screen. We need to know what's going on at Hemel Hempstead. We don't really need this. Can we get latest scores on here? Latest scores. Hemel Hempstead. Not on here anywhere. Oh no, they're drawing with Weston-super-Mare. I mean, what a massive game that is. Hemel Hempstead against Weston-super-Mare there. We're basically in that match sandwich right now, just getting our backsides handed to us by the best team in the division. So we kind of want those two to cancel each other out so that this defeat doesn't punish us too much, because, I mean, or a Weston-super-Mare win would be fine, because then Hemel fall even further behind us, which is also good. But what we don't want to see is Hemel Hempstead beat Weston-super-Mare, because then we fall outside of the playoffs going into the final game of the season. I haven't even looked who everybody's playing on that last day, but the way it all seems to be falling, that we're all playing each other at this end of the season, it seems to be that the fixture computer knew who the best teams were and tried to make for an exciting run in. So we're probably playing against someone good. I don't think we played Wellstone recently, so it could be them, maybe. They might be the one who we've not played for a little while, if we are going to be playing another team who are in and around the mix. And like I say, we've beaten everyone apart from, was it Weston-super-Mare who beat us? I can't even remember now. It was a few minutes ago we talked about this, and now my brain is broken because of the fact that we just can't get into this game. We've had one shot on target. It's not like us at all. It does terrify me a little bit at the prospect of, well, if we go up, what on earth have we got ahead of us next season? Because if Billericay can do this to us now and just make us look like a Sunday League team, then what on earth is life in the Vanarama National League going to be like? Oh, Danny Mills has not had a good game at all. Doty finally scored the first goal of his career recently. I hadn't realised we'd been playing him up front all year and he'd never scored a goal in his career. I feel like if that's something I'd noticed a little bit earlier on, I might have stopped playing him and made an effort to go out and find another striker some way, somehow. I know we've not got any transfer budget or wage budget, but, you know, needs must. If he's really never ever going to score, he probably needed replacing. And as it stands right now, Hemel must have gone ahead in their game against Weston-super-Mare, because they've leapfrog over us. Where are we? Where's that game? We can't see it. There it is. Oh, Hemel are 2-0 up over Weston-super-Mare. So as it stands right now, with 1 game to go, we're going to be a point behind them both. Better goal difference than Weston-super-Mare, but not as good goal difference as Hemel Hempstead, and we can't catch any other teams. So Whitehawk, Wealdstone, Dartford, Bromley, they're all secure in the playoffs. Billericay have just about got the league wrapped up, but we did not want to see Hemel Hempstead beating Weston-super-Mare. And Poole, okay, Poole on the last day of the season is definitely playable. Playable, winnable. A lot depends on who everyone else is playing, though. So if we have a look at the league, how do we do it? Profile, isn't it? And see who everyone else is playing. So Hemel Hempstead are away at Bromley. Fingers crossed they lose that. Bromley are going to be having to win. They're trying to get automatic promotion. And if not, they want momentum going into the playoffs. So we're relying on Bromley beating Hemel Hempstead. Weston-super-Mare away at Chelmsford. They should win that. So we should be winning. Hemel Hempstead should be winning. No, we should be winning. Weston-super-Mare should be winning. Hemel Hempstead should be losing. So they should be the ones who miss out on the playoffs. But they did just beat Weston-super-Mare away from home. This is about as tight as it can get. Before we get into the final game of the season, it looks like the board have seen enough. They were looking for the playoffs from me this year, but they're now willing to offer me a new contract as a sign of faith. Whether we get in or not, I'm going to be here next year. So now it's just a case of pushing them for as much money as possible so I can try and move out of this freezing cold garage that I've been living in. So let's say, I don't know, £550 a week. Can we do that? What about 525? I'm upsetting them. 500. 500 is a pay rise. We didn't meet our goals this year, maybe, and you've offered me a pay rise. So £500 a week. Expect me to go house hunting over the summer to see if we can move out of the garage. I remember now why we have to have 3 stars at the start of the Patreon players, because you need 3 digits or 3 keystrokes up there to be able to search a database. So if you have 3 stars, then you can find them. We don't need the 3 at the end though, so hopefully that's a little bit less intrusive. So now we can identify all those easily. Going into the final league game of the season, we're not going to make any changes. We put our best team out. We don't really have any reserves. I know we got absolutely thumped, but I think Poole are a different proposition to what Billericay are, and if we're going to be good enough to make it through these playoffs, then this team needs to be good enough to beat the likes of Poole and then some. I mean, it needs to be able to take on, realistically, it's going to be Wealdstone or Whitehawk, I guess. If we make it in, we're playing them in the first tie, assuming 7th place plays 4th. Yeah, so it'll be Wealdstone or Whitehawk. So we need to be able to thump Poole with this team if we're going to be able to beat either of those two. Unfortunately, we are 1-0 down at home, 12 minutes into this match. Playoffs might not be happening. At least I've got my new contract. I'm extra £50 a week. I mean, let's get our priorities right here. What can an extra £50 a week get me? Hold on, let's do my calculations. So we've got to show our priorities. So £50 a week is an extra £2,600 a year. So if we're now on £500 a week, that's £26,000 a year. Standard income multiplier, 4 times my income. What can I buy in Bath for £104,000? Surely there must be like a bedsit somewhere I can buy and get out of this garage. We need to go house hunting. On to Rightmove before our next episode, unless we make it into the playoffs, in which case we can't just spend the whole of the playoff preparation house hunting. Danny Mills should have scored. Oh, how important is that miss going to end up being? Right. Hemel Hempstead are drawing, Weston-super-Mare are losing. If we were keeping to our side of the bargain, we would be in the playoffs right now. Chelmsford are beating Weston-super-Mare ridiculously. Hemel Hempstead beating second place Bromley, who have a chance for automatic promotion still, but look like they're blowing it. But we seem to be bottling it as well. Danny Mills, no. Right, we go again. Oh, Tim, Cross comes in, but Mills isn't there. And going into half-time, this is all looking a little bit sad. Bromley have equalised against Hemel Hempstead. Chelmsford still ahead against Weston-super-Mare. We just got to do our bit. If we win this game, we'll be 6th. We won't even look like we snuck in. But we've got to win this game. And the same problem we've been having for weeks, if not months now, in the second half of this season, is we just don't have a plan B. We have no plan B. We have no game changer. We have no backup players. There's nothing on that bench that's going to come on and turn this game in our favour. We have a backup right winger who's not as good as the one who's on the pitch, a striker who's only scored 1 goal in his career, and 2 centre-backs. That's it. And we're over our wage budget as it is. That's the crazy thing. To be able to keep our better players, we're going to have to increase their salaries, because that's the way it always works in Football Manager. So if we keep our best players, we're going to have even fewer backups. So if we don't get promoted, our choice is basically try again with the same players but even fewer options beyond them, which I think is close to impossible, or let the good players leave, the likes of Compton, Mills, Robles, Ovenden. They're going to have to move on and leave the club, and we're going to have to completely rebuild with cheaper options and try and go for a little bit more depth. So less stars like Compton and Mills, more, right, let's try and have at least 18 players who can all play in this first team, not just 11 and no reserves like we've got at the moment. Neither of those seem particularly appealing prospects, so we need to pull our fingers out of our backsides and go and win this football match. Because, terrifyingly, the other teams are still... They're holding the door wide open for us. We just need to walk through it. Ovenden tries to find Robles who can't get there. Mills. Otim's in acres of space. Crosses. Compton's there. Misses. Can't find Mills with a cutback. And it's just not going to be our season, is it? It's not our day. Clutton's getting sent off. It's his last game for the club. He's going back to wherever he's been loaned to us from. He doesn't care. He's not got the stomach for a fight, and he's done. Well, when I signed him, I said Ovenden could be the midfield by himself. Ovenden, you are the midfield now. Why is every season of Non-League to Legend this year ending with a one-man midfield? This says I might be doing something wrong. Right, let's try swapping those two round. I don't know what difference it's going to make. Make Danny Mills a target man, which he doesn't want to do, but at least then we can lump the ball up at him. Early crosses, float crosses, that's what we want. Just aim at Danny Mills. I don't think we've got a change we can make that improves his team in any way. Just going to leave it. Right, we've got to find 2 goals from somewhere. 2 goals without reply. We're down to 10 men. There's only 10 minutes left. We're not showing signs of anything. We're not even going to get a highlight. We are going down without a fight. Utterly, utterly toothless. This makes me cry. Makes me very sad that none of them are bothered. Mills to Robles, it doesn't matter. It's too late even if he scores. A draw was never going to be enough. Even if it had been a penalty, Lewis, it doesn't matter. At least we're trying a little bit with no seconds remaining, but that was pathetic, that last game of the season. Now we need to come up with a plan for the summer. I outlined the 2 options. Neither of them sound like a lot of fun. Why did I sign that contract? I don't know. I mean, look at the state of this squad. Once you get past that first team, and the amount of loanees who are going back, we're going to have to just rely on some of these kids. We have these kids who have come through. They're going to have to get game time. We've been so reliant on those 2 for goals, and once they stopped scoring, we were ruined. Compton's unhappy and wants to leave because he was expecting to get promoted. He's been the source of so many goals this year, and our best player. And him off the wage bill might help because he's on £500 a week. If someone wants to give us money for him, we'll let him go. But that season has been a little bit messy. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.